Hey, travelers. It's been a while again, but what I'm pretty much unorganized, and I have I'm having a hard time setting up a time, or a day, or if I'm gonna do it once a week, or I know once a day might drive me nuts, or you nuts. But anyway, I named this time too because I did. Time has come today, a little while ago, and but that's why I'm calling it time too, because I'm saying it again. It's time. It's time to change this system. It's time to point this country in a direction that's going to be sustainable and equitable, and profitable. I mean, what's the, oh man, the money flow will be so free, you know, but for us, for the people, the rich have theirs. I'm not gonna stop saying that. The rich have theirs. They're billionaires and like that. What more do they need? How much more can you need? You know what I'm saying? And you're still making money, but you just don't need to be taking ours. The rich don't need to be taking our money. Our tax dollars shouldn't enrich the rich. It's just that simple. We can keep it. We can use it. So I'm gonna try to lay this plan out so people can understand. Now, we're paying, the revenue that runs this country is coming from us, from the people, from our income tax, which has always been wrong. I always felt, people should bring home what they make. People should, and it came to be true that's what there was a choice made back in, I guess, the 1700s or 1800s, somewhere around in there, where they would be getting their revenue from a tax on labor or a tax on the land, on the value of the land. And I guess the landowners didn't want to give up none of their rent money, so they chose to tax the people, tax labor. Well, they should have went the other way. They should have, just to level the playing field for everybody, because everybody, once you remove the tax from labor, which is the income tax, people bring home what they make. And that immediately raises everybody's condition. Everybody bringing home what they make. I mean, from what you make right now to, what you bring home right now, as opposed to bringing home what you make. So I think that's fair. And the revenue from that tax is or the value of that tax is put on the land, on the value of the land. So the land is like in the 48 states. I think the last record, what I was able to get at, was like valued at $23 trillion. So that's the value of land in the 48 states. So you put a tax on the value of that land. So the tax is on $23 trillion. So I put which is a kind of low, 15% tax on 23 trillion, and came up with 3,450,000,000,000. And that's the numbers that Biden was trying to put out to do the infrastructure and all that stuff. And that's where that money would be going, into a fund for the common good. A fund for the common good, which would cover the running of government, health care, education, infrastructure, and the military, and all the little nuances in between, like Social Security, or something like that, because we have to look out for our elderly. We have to set up these child care programs so people can go to work if they choose, because it might, the way the economy would change under this, somebody might be able to stay home, and be with the kids. Like, my kids, my wife was home until the kids went to school, till all the kids were in school. Then she went to work. And I like that. I think the kids had a better nurturing start, but this is what we need to be doing. We need to be taking the pressure off of society. Why should society be carrying the weight of society, carrying the weight of this country? We're carrying the weight, and while the rich are avoiding paying taxes, they're I believe that's a lot of the deficit is what they haven't paid. So look, we got to get this straightened out, and we got to get it straightened out in a way that's going to take us forward. That's going to take us forward sustainably. Like I said, it'll sustain itself. Once it gets started, it'll sustain itself. In that, okay, you've removed the tax on labor. So now people are bringing home what they make. And now they can afford a lot of the things, or some of the things that they couldn't, with the tax system the way it was. So, and that's all over manufacturing. All areas of manufacturing would be stress to keep up, and that would cause, I think, just from common sense, I could see where manufacturing would have to produce more. So in order for them to produce more, they'd need more employees. So now you have competition between corporations and companies for employees because, everybody's trying to get employees. So they're offering more money. They don't have to worry about benefits because that's covered in the fund for the common good. They're not paying income tax, so they can produce without having to pay more tax. So, that they have more money to offer. In fact, that's really all they have to offer because they're not responsible for health care anymore, and they're not paying any taxes. So, they have more money to pay a more proper wage without really hurting their bottom line. That's, basically what they worry about. But now they'll be able to make and keep enough that their bottom line isn't affected by paying their employees a proper wage, not a minimum wage or it's more what you can pay as opposed to what you will pay. What's going on now, and that's because of the restrictions of taxes. So we removed those taxes out of the way. We removed that, and so now you have jobs, and this is a permanent situation. We've made a change in the economy. Yeah, it's going to boom for a while and then probably level off, but it won't level down to minuscule levels. People will have money. People will have money. Not only are they bringing home what they make, but now they're making more. So you're working less hours for more than the same money. So you'll have time for your family. You'll have time for your church, or however you worship or whatever, or hobbies or whatever. You'll have time for these things. So it's imperative, I think, right now that people look. You have a post that you could share to people that in higher places. I don't know nobody. I don't know anybody like that. And I've been trying to email or message, hey cuz, how you doing? But I'm trying to get this message out. This is crazy. Right now is when we need this. We need to be able to, get out of this COVID and all this here stuff. But where are we going to go from there? Where are we going to go? We're going to just keep doing this same stuff or while this is happening, Republicans are trying to destroy the democracy, period. So if we lose our democracy, we're not going to be able to vote. We're not going to be, And I don't know why people aren't in the streets, because, you know, our democracy is at stake. And thank you. Oh, boy. But anyway, you know, we have to fight like, you know, our democracy is at stake. This, you know, right now, you know, in all these states, they're trying to make it harder to vote and all this. You know, if they take our democracy, we won't be able to vote, period. They'll, you know, that now we're susceptible to whatever kind of rule, you know, that they're going to throw at us. Like, you know, you end up with, you know, the kind of junk we had for the last 4 years, you know. And now everybody in this country and the world knows that that was insane. Those was the most insane 4 years I've seen. You know, I'm 68, and I haven't seen it all in all my life. You know, I mean, crazy. But what is getting to me is that it was allowed to happen. After the first couple of times, he'd have been out of there as far as I'm concerned. In fact, he was messing up before he was even elected. So a lot of the stuff he did while he was running for office should have disqualified him. He should have never even been able to run after a couple of the issues. In fact, as soon as he opened his mouth, calling Mexicans, you know, all out of their name, you know, and stuff. Like, you know, I mean, come on, man. This is America. This ain't anybody's, any particular people's belongings. You know, there's too many people in this country for somebody to say I'm in charge. That's you know, it's really been past all. It never should have been in the first place, because this is what it is. It's a great experiment. It's about all these people in this country, all the people in the world. You know, everybody in the world is living in this country, and we have to have a government that's equitable to all these people, not just one, or where somebody has some privilege over the rest of everybody else. We can't do that. It never should have been, but you know, now that there's more and more peoples, different types of peoples, you know, we need to, you know, just live and let live, you know, and not for nothing, it ain't just live and let live. It's about look out for each other. That's what society is supposed to be based in. Love your neighbor as yourself. That was a command. It was not just a statement. It was not a statement. It is a command. Love God above all others. Have no other God before him. And love your neighbor as yourself. Those was the 2 commandments that Jesus made that covered the 10 that Moses put down. See? We got to do this right. I mean, because if we don't, we're not going nowhere. We might just blow it up, because that's what it's starting to look like. This violent and hateful attitude that's running around is not just running around in this country. It's you know, people emulating this country in other countries and stuff, and it's just stupid. It's really, it's all create. We all creation. We all one people. And I don't speak to. Yeah, I'm black and I'm native, and there's probably some Caucasian in me too. So but it's everybody. It's not just it's not black. It's not white. It's about creation. It's what God created. That's what we're supposed to be. That's what we're supposed to be. That's what he's saying. Love your neighbor as yourself. That's it. He ain't said nothing about but them, and it's and loving your neighbor, you protect them. You look to their well-being. You make sure that they have, and in the process, exactly. That's what I'm saying. It's one race, the human race. Anything other than that, that's an alien. That's But it's time. It's time that we stood up for what all these people. Okay, since Moses and probably before Moses, because there was Noah and you know what I'm saying, and like people in between there, putting out truth, just truth, and the truth is, this is where I'm getting back to changing this system. Nature only rewards labor. If you don't put nothing in, you ain't getting nothing out. If you don't work, you don't eat. That's how nature works. So, in that sense, working people should be living in the nice houses. You know what I'm saying? People that work should have the nice things. The harder you work, the nicer you should have it. But it don't work that way in this system. And this system is robbing the working man and giving him little dribs and drabs of this and that, and throwing monkey wrenches in for these people and these people, redlining over here and all kinds of crazy, and it's all just to keep us divided for one, and to keep the status quo. Like people say that this system don't work. Okay, if it don't work, why don't they change it? If it don't work, it's working for somebody. You know what I'm saying? That's what the deal is. It's working for somebody. And it ain't us. You know what I mean? It ain't the people. And I'm not talking about any particular people. I'm saying the people in general. It's not working. You know what I'm saying? I don't mind people getting rich. I don't mind people getting rich. But people shouldn't be poor. Poverty is not necessary, other than even the elderly shouldn't be in this day and age. The elderly, especially if you worked all your life, you should be covered. Period. You should be covered. Shouldn't be having to worry about no health care and none of that stuff. That all should be covered. And that's what this plan does. That's what this plan does. And it's simple. It's just so simple. It's nothing that they can call But yeah, that might be true. But if what's up though? If there's a way to do things that everybody benefits, even the rich benefit, they don't pay no tax either. You know what I'm saying? So look, ain't no reason to do this right, and the only reason that it won't happen is if we don't come together. That would be the reason it didn't happen, is if people in this country didn't come together. And we got to get that noise out there. Look, I ain't minimizing nothing, but the demonstrations for George Floyd, well, that was a culmination of all the injustice. But, you know, it was in the name of George Floyd. People was out there, and I was impressed. I was straight up impressed at not just the numbers, but the diversity. Black, white, Chinese, old, young, everybody. And they still protested. So first, why ain't we doing the democracy like that? Because without our democracy, that protest wouldn't be happening. Like Trump was saying about protesters, shoot them. And we need to be trying to organize. Like, I know I'm right. I'm sorry. I'm you know, that's why I'm doing this, baby. There's no other way to go. Seriously, because anything else is going to be some kind of tyranny. You know what I'm saying? Well, anyway, anything they're doing is going to keep pushing debt down the road where our our grandkids and our great grandkids will still be paying our debt. They'll be trying to pay tax on what the rich ain't been paying and all that stuff. You know, that'll be passed down to our kids. We need to change this system. And it's simple. All it is moving the tax from labor to the value of the land. That's all you're doing. You ain't changing government. You're not changing police or fire, or you're not nothing else is changing except for the way we collect revenue in this country. That's it. That's all that you're changing, and everything else will follow suit. There'll be so much. I'm telling you. I've done the research, and that's the research that caused me to write my book. That's my book. And I'm still reading it. And look how skinny that book is, right? And I'm still reading it. I can't get over the work in here. It's we need to change now. We need to get this done now. This is oh man. You know, you remember me growing up. I'm talking to you, Denise, because you're the only one on. But like growing up, you know, this is where I always was. I just didn't know. I didn't understand. And now I understand. I understand why people got to struggle like this. I understand what's causing it. And it's not that they lazy or whatever. People working 2 and 3 jobs and 4 jobs, you know, when they could squeeze a day in here and a day. Man, people are busting their butt. That's why there's millions of people leaving their jobs right now. There's people walking out of work, but at the same time, there's other people hiring. So things is kind of trying to hold itself together, but we ain't going nowhere from here. We're not going to go nowhere from here because you still got the same system. You're still fighting the same fight. We fighting for the same infrastructure that we've been fighting for decades. Every election and around every election, we're talking about child care. We're talking about education. We're talking about health care. We're talking about infrastructure. Every season, that's what you might call. See, every voting season or whatever season, that's what we're talking about. Ain't none of it getting done though, because they keep taking our money. They keep giving our money to the rich, one way or the other. If it's not tax breaks, then it's however else they finagle stuff around. I'm not in government. I can't tell you how they do this, but they doing it. Cause 1 and 1 don't make 2. When you try to add up what money comes out of our check and what's getting done, it don't add up. You know what I'm saying? So they're getting our money and they ain't paying no tax. So where's the deficit? I'm not an economist. I'm not a scholar or none of that. But this is common sense. This is common knowledge. And we're sitting on it. We're sitting around letting these people just do what the heck they want to do. Man, don't get me started. But it's something. This is what we got to do. If the people do anything, and I mean all of them. I mean them racists, the ones with the torches and all that stuff. This is their country too. You know what I'm saying? They just want it for themselves, but that ain't gonna work. So what you need to do is just come together and get this so we can all live and live comfortable. I think straightening out the economic issues will lower the temperature in this country. I think well, in my book, you'll find that it's the conditions in society that cause the problems in society. Social conditions cause social problems. And what causes the conditions is the laws and policies that government made. That's why I'm saying we need to change this. We need to change it. So question that I'm always asking, who writes unjust law? What kind of people write unjust law? You know what I'm saying? That's why they don't want us to be able to vote, because it's those people that need to get out of government. You know what I'm saying? It's set up for the rich. Now, see, I'm talking about the rich like it's just this country. These people are trying to get the world. They're trying to get all the land and all the resources. And once they have all that, everybody's going to be enslaved. Everybody. Because that's what's in their best interest. That's what's in their best interest. They own the land. And to own the land, whoever owns the land enslaves the people who live and work on it. That's what we're doing now, paying tribute, paying for the right to work and exist. That's what that tax is that we pay. We paying tribute. They're making money off the value of the land. Somebody paying rent. You know what? I was just reading in my little book about the skyscrapers, the buildings in New York that they write about back in the 1800s. All this work was done back in the 1800s, and you up on the 72nd floor. What you paying rent for? What you paying? What are they charging you for? They said that when you own a piece of land, you own from the center of the earth to heaven. That's how they wrote it. In that area, straight up to heaven. So they're getting their money. They're getting their money. Look how many of them buildings in New York and, built up states. Look, it's common sense. We're not supposed to be paying taxes. We're not supposed to be paying taxes. Dig this. Dig this. Now, this is the dilemma we're in. Remember when Moses had the Israelites out there in the wilderness? And they got hungry, and God rained manna to feed them. Check this out. What if that manna landed on private property? Would those people have gotten the blessing that God just rained down on them? Somebody tell me something. I said, would those people have gotten that blessing that God rained down on them if it landed on private property? Well, that's where we are right now. It's not that there's not enough. God said that the land would provide for the needs of the people. If he said that, that tells me there's enough. Or he wouldn't have said it. So if there's enough, why do people struggle so? God gave us enough. So it's the unjust distribution of wealth and resources. Men got their hands on it. People need to pay attention. Serious attention. I mean, okay, everybody got a life to live and all that stuff, but damn it, know what's going on around you. Know what your government is up to or how your government works so you can help. This president needs our help. He needs to know that we got his back. And we worried about You know, we all broke up in this country. It's all broke up in all these different groups and stuff. And we all separated. And that's how we approach the government in groups, in single groups, until there's a George Floyd or something like that. Then, like I'm saying, that was so beautiful. I had me crying, you know, because it was so beautiful to see all those people for the same cause, for the same, that just took, you know, and that's what we need to be doing right now. We need to be pushing these people, let them know that we ain't standing for this garbage, and you know, give the who is he, the Attorney General, give him back, give him some back, let him know that we got his back. You know what I'm saying? That's where we need to be. We need to let the president know. You know, that's what I'm trying. Girl, look. This is real. This ain't no joke. We're about to lose a whole bunch of junk if we don't do this right. If we don't do this right, and I don't see it. I don't see it happening. I don't hear it. I don't get feedback. You know, I've been doing this for a while now, and I'm talking about the same stuff, and people just ain't getting it. And it's not because I ain't do nothing. All I'm doing is telling you about it. You know, that I came across. That was actually, I didn't come across it. It was mailed to my house. It came, my baby brother sent me some books that blew my mind and got me on this mission I'm in. You know, this is real, a viable change that we can move forward as a society, as a country, and I believe once we do it, the world will follow suit. You know, free trade. Why should people have to be taxed? You know, that's what I'm saying. Remove that tax. So trade is free. You still be paying probably for what's that, customs and stuff like that. You know, to have the stuff checked coming into the country. You might be a fee for that, but the taxes should be free. Shouldn't be no tax. You should be able to make your money. You know, you make a sale, and on the other end, they should be able to make their money. And God is deep. God, He didn't intend for us to be alone. He didn't intend for us to try to exist on our own. If He did, everything we need would be in this country. Or that country, everything those people need would be in their country. They wouldn't have to leave for nothing. But we need things that are over there, and they need things that are over here. So that's what trade is about. Now, every honest transaction brings those two countries closer. And that prevents war. You know what I'm saying? And you're not just exchanging commodities. You're not just exchanging goods. You're exchanging culture. You're exchanging ideas. God ain't no joke. But this is in life. This ain't just this is living it. This ain't just reading it and talking it. This is living it. And living it in a way that He intended, where we all benefit from the way we do it in love and looking out for each other. You know, a decent society would act as an immune system. If any evil, hate, or whatever pops its head up, the people come together like your immune system and push it out. That's how we're supposed to be doing it. That's how we're supposed to be living. Shouldn't be nobody afraid. Shouldn't be nobody, you know. That's how it was intended. But you know, I'm just looking for, you know, people to get out there and, you know, try to help me get this out here. I mean, I'm trying to change this country. I'm trying to change the way we live. And there's a way to do it. You know, I wouldn't be out here. Look, I got better. Nah, I ain't got nothing better to do. But nothing better than this to do. Seriously. There's, you know, and this is, you know, it's not just economic change, but it's a gateway back to or towards morality and ethics and character. You know what I'm saying? When you bring the temperature down, when you bring all this heat down, all this racism and political junk, when you bring the temperature, all that stuff down, people got time to think or have more. They're more able to think, and because of that, you know, they might listen. And once that starts happening, you know, forward is of course it's gonna be bumpy and stuff like that, but forward is and guess where we're headed? Guess where we're headed? If we do this, guess where we are headed? Because I've been standing up on this mountain since I wrote this book. And I've been looking at our destination since then. I've been looking at the promised land since 2018. I've been looking at it. I've been standing here looking at it. I'm still there looking at it. That's why I'm trying to tell you. It's here. It's here to be done. And we could move this country, this world, but the country, ourselves, our communities, our families, you know, where everybody could stand up and do you, but in the process, you know, keep your eye on your neighbor, on, you know, the elderly in your community, the young in your community. You know, watch out for them. They all my kids. All these kids is my kids. If I see them out there messing up, they'll think they was mine. You know, well, until I get them to their parents. But you know, that's not a duty that we should shirk. That's who we are. That's who, you know, what we're supposed to be anyway. You know what I'm saying? We're supposed to be looking out for each other. You know what I'm saying? I love you. You know, all my family, but I love people. I love this world. I love this creation. I'm so amazed still at some of the newness, some of the stuff that I run into that I never saw before. You know, there's I mean, you know, knowledge and the gaining of knowledge is more